Welcome to the world of TrendPod AI. And welcome to you, our curious listener, ready for another deep dive. Today we're cutting through the noise, going to bring you a shortcut to being truly well-informed, without all that information overload. Our topic today is, well, it's absolutely fascinating, the world of commercial spaceflight. We're focusing specifically on the highly anticipated, but repeatedly delayed, Axiom Mission4.
Axi4, that's right. And our mission for this deep dive is really to pull out the most important bits of knowledge from the latest reports. We want to help you understand not just what's happening with Ax4, but critically why it matters and what all these complexities reveal about modern space exploration. We'll break down the key players, introduce you to the, frankly, incredible crew, and then trace the sort of domino effect of challenges that have led to these postponements.
Yeah, get ready for some surprising facts, maybe a few aha moments. We promise a clear, engaging look at this and one that really respects your time. Okay, let's unpack this then. First off, the basics. What exactly is the Ax4 mission?
Right. So, at its heart, Ax4 is the fourth private astronaut mission planning to go to the International Space Station, the ISS. And what's really key here is that it's not just, one company doing everything. It's this massive collaboration. You've got NASA, they provide the destination, the oversight. Then Axiom Space, the commercial company, actually organizing the mission itself. And SpaceX providing the rocket, the capsule. It's a very complex dance between multiple parties.
Okay, complex collaboration. And the crew for this one, it sounds incredibly diverse, historically significant even. Who are we talking about?
Oh, it's an impressive lineup, really. Leading the mission, the commander, is Peggy Whitson. She's a former NASA astronaut, loads of experience, and now she's director of human spaceflight at Axiom, a real veteran. Then the pilot, Shubhanshu Shukla from ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization. His flight is genuinely historic for India, a huge step for their human spaceflight ambitions. And rounding it out, two mission specialists, Wisniewski from Poland and Tibor Kapu from Hungary, both flying under the European Space Agency, ESA. So a truly global team.
Wow. That's quite a lineup, an amazing international team. And they're definitely not just going up for the view, right? What kind of work are they actually planning to do on the ISS?
No, exactly. The science is pretty substantial. The crew's got a whole range of crucial scientific experiments lined up. And what's particularly interesting, I think, is Shubhanshu Shukla's focus. He's set to lead research into food and space nutrition. Now, this isn't just some random project. It's developed through this big partnership, ISRO, India's Department of Biotechnology, and NASA, too. And the goal is pretty ambitious, basically, to advance sustainable life support systems, stuff that's absolutely crucial if we're serious about, long-duration space exploration. Think Mars missions, that kind of thing.
Right, foundational stuff. So as you can hear, this isn't just another launch vehicle going up. It's seen as a, quote, significant step in the commercialization of human spaceflight. And like we said, historic nature for the nations of India, Poland, and Hungary really underlines the global reach of space these days. But okay, all this ambition, all this significance, it's hit some serious roadblocks, hasn't it? What's the real story behind these repeated delays? Let's trace that journey.
Well, it's been a bit of a saga. The original target launch date, believe it or not, was way back on May 29th. But the first postponement came pretty quickly, pushed it to June 8th. And that initial delay, that was down to an issue they found in the electrical harness of the Crew Dragon module. Think of the harness as like the spacecraft's nervous system, all the wires, cables, power, data. Any problem there is, well, it's a big deal. You have to check it out.
Okay, so first hurdle, the capsule, the Dragon. But then the problems seemed to kind of shift, moved over to the launch vehicle, the rocket.
Exactly. After that June 8th date, things started shifting almost daily. It was quietly bumped to June 9th. That wasn't even really announced publicly. Then rescheduled officially to June 10th. But the big postponement, the one from June 10th onwards, that stemmed from the Falcon 9 rocket itself. During prep for a hot fire test on June 8th, that's where they fire up the engines on the ground, make sure everything's working, SpaceX engineers found a leak. Liquid oxygen, LOX. LOX is the oxidizer you need it for the fuel to burn. So a leak is obviously not good. And as if that wasn't enough, they also found an anomaly in one of the engine actuators. These are critical bits of kit that steer the rocket by controlling the engine nozzle. So they had to replace both the actuator and its controller unit.
Right, okay. LOX leak and an actuator problem. That's a significant set of issues on the rocket side. So the mission partners, NASA, Axiom, SpaceX, they decided to postpone again, right? To run tests, make sure the fixes actually worked. That pushed things towards maybe June 19th, but clearly that didn't hold either. And then the focus shifted again, right? This time to the destination itself, the ISS. What happened there?
Yeah, and this is where it gets really fascinating, I think. The primary reason for the latest set of delays, the ones we're in now, is that NASA, Axiom, and SpaceX are basically standing down from the launch. They need to fully assess if the ISS is ready. The specific problem is related to recent repair work. It's in the aft segment, the very back, of the Zvezda service module. Now, the Zvezda module, that's a key Russian piece of the station. Does propulsion, life support, crew quarters? really vital. And these aren't actually new leaks. These small leaks in Zvezda, they've been monitored by flight controllers for, well, several years, according to the reports. Roscosmos, the Russian space agency, did some repair work recently, and it appears to have stabilized pressure in part of the module, the transfer tunnel. However, and this is the crucial bit of uncertainty, the teams are still trying to figure out if the leaks have been fully sealed or if air is still flowing into that area from the main part of the station.
Right. And NASA's caution here seems totally understandable. It's not just about launching the rocket. You need to make sure where it's going is safe and ready for more people.
Precisely. NASA put out a statement saying, essentially, because everything on the station is so interconnected, so interdependent, they want to be absolutely sure it's ready for more crew. And they're taking the time they need to review all the data. So as of Friday, June 20th, 2025, NASA officially stood down from that planned Sunday, June 22nd launch. Even the backup for the 23rd is off the table now, which means, well, no new launch date has been announced. It's just wait and see. And the crew, through all of this, they remain in quarantine in Florida, just waiting, ready to go as soon as the station is ready. It really makes you think about the mental toughness needed. Imagine being quarantined, packed, ready to launch, and day after day, week after week, the date just keeps slipping. That's remarkable resilience.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's pull back a bit.
Yeah.
What does this all mean for you, listening? Beyond the dates and the technical jargon. This whole saga, it really highlights something fundamental about space missions, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a critical question. What this timeline really shows you is the incredibly intricate nature of spaceflight. It's almost like a house of cards sometimes. You have a seemingly small electrical issue on the capsule, then a tiny oxygen leak on the rocket, then this long-standing, supposedly managed leak on the ISS. Each one triggers the next delay, showing how deeply interconnected, maybe even fragile the whole system is. It's not just one single problem in isolation. It's the knock-on effect across all these interdependent systems, across international partners, driven by these meticulous safety protocols that have to be followed. Every single delay, even if it costs money or messes up schedules, it's made with lives and incredibly expensive hardware on the line. It's a real-time example of that safety-first culture completely overriding commercial pressures. It teaches you, I think, that in space there are no shortcuts, just relentless vigilance.
And it's striking how that complexity affects not just the tech, but the people too, those astronauts just waiting patiently. What else does this situation tell us about the bigger picture of space exploration right now?
Well, another thing it really highlights is the ongoing and frankly vital international collaboration. Despite everything happening down here on Earth, NASA is still working closely with Roscosmos on managing the Russian parts of the ISS. It's kind of a testament to how space exploration can sometimes transcend politics. A shared, complex goal can keep people cooperating. And I think finally it really underscores that even with all these amazing leaps in commercial spaceflight, SpaceX, Axiom, and others' challenges on the existing infrastructure, like the aging ISS, can still have a massive impact. It's a reminder that success for these new commercial ventures is still tied very closely to the health and readiness of this big government-funded infrastructure. So yeah, it's not just a technical glitch story. It's a window into the inherent risks, the constant vigilance needed, and how that risk is managed across so many different players.
Understanding those details really gives you a much richer picture than just a quick headline, doesn't it? A deeper appreciation for the triumphs and the tribulations of pushing out beyond Earth. So just recap the key points. The X4 mission is currently on hold. It started with some launch vehicle issues now apparently resolved, but the main hurdle now is the International Space Station's readiness, specifically concerning these persistent leaks in the Russian Zvezda module.
Exactly. Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you to mull over today. What do these kinds of persistent delays, even for these new commercially backed missions, really tell us about the fundamental risks involved in space and the level of constant watchfulness required just to operate safely up there? How might challenges like this shape the future? The long-term viability or even the design of upcoming commercial space stations or missions? Does it maybe change how you think about things like space tourism or how important it is to maintain or maybe replace our current infrastructure in orbit? Lots to think about there.
Fascinating questions indeed. Food for thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Axiom 4 mission.